Okay. Hey, we're back. We
What's going
missed
on,
you
people?
guys. We haven't seen you in a week. Hey now, hey now.
It's cold, thank you.
I know. It's because I told Gary I didn't want to hear y'all whining about, yeah, you put your ice in the water. I want to hear it. So listen, look everybody. I saw a meme on social media and it seemed to be a real hot topic. And it said, do when you're getting married, should you have to give up your friends of the opposite sex
Right.
when you're getting married? So we want to talk about it, but not from the stance necessarily of marriage, but just in a committed relationship. We want to have this conversation. What do y'all think?
It's a double-edged sword in my book. You know, you're in a committed relationship, obviously you should give up certain friends. Because certain friends just aren't friends. They are platonic.
Friends with benefits.
Yeah, or
Or,
it's not
or
right.
past
Because that
benefits.
suggests
Past
sex.
benefits,
Yeah,
but just
former.
just conversations that you shouldn't be having when you are in a relationship. If you can't have that conversation in front of your person,
Yep.
you shouldn't be having that conversation.
You're
So
here.
certain people need to, you need to get rid of them. But like all of your friends, at this old age, as they say,
Big age.
that too,
That's what the
this
kids
big age.
Big
Um,
age.
Relationships, they may last a good long while, but then sometimes they can end. Marriages can just end. So you give up all your friends, and when that's over, who do you have? What are you left with? That in itself could be very lonely. And so I think that you have to have a balance. And I don't think that you should give up all your friends and just be focused on this one person that's in your life, because you're going to end up
I
smothering
totally
that person
agree.
to death.
I totally agree.
And they're going to smother you to death. And you need to have your own thing and conversations to bounce things off of. I think that's healthy for any relationship. So,
I totally agree. I think that if you are in a serious relationship and your person has a lot of as friends, a lot of members of the opposite sex. I think in a serious relationship, then they don't necessarily have to be your friends too, but they should accept you as like, okay, and there should be some boundaries that there's a level of respect, and your person,
yeah.
your girlfriend, your guy should make you comfortable with those people, and vice versa. It shouldn't be, okay, I'm on the phone, as soon as my woman walks in, I gotta hang up.
Go.
Yeah, like, why can't you still talk?
Right.
I'm not gonna be in your face, but, and I'm not trying to listen to the conversations, but it shouldn't be, as soon
It
as.
should be like, hey, tell Kim I said hi.
Absolutely.
Hey, Sheila.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and if that isn't there, then there's a problem. So I think that
Agreed.
you can have people in your life that are members of the opposite sex, but some modifications need to be had.
Right.
That for sure. Because I also think that people need to categorize correctly. Like, I think that some people have a tendency to hang on to folks that are exes and under the guise of, oh, this is my friend. No, this is your ex-boyfriend or
Girlfriend.
ex-girlfriend. It's not the
Or
same
jump
thing.
off, or late night creep. Or,
Yeah, right. So just
Yeah.
because you used to sleep with them or just because you used to date them doesn't necessarily make them your friend. It could be, but not always. Yeah. What do you think, Gary?
I think it's a balancing act. I think that you have to, we are such a great example of, man, you all are my friends. We might be having breakfast.
Right.
We might go to a party together. We might
Right.
go to a club. And it's work or it's whatever, but you all are my friends, and I'm not getting rid of y'all because I started dating somebody, or
Right.
even if I get married.
Right.
So there has to be a balance, but there also has to be transparency. And nobody can fall into that category of somebody that you might tap. If there exists any possibility of tapping going on, no.
Tapping.
Tap tap, tap. So
So if that exists, if you were attracted to one of your friends, but you were dating someone, how would you handle that?
it's gonna be some distance between me and that person, because
You and the friend.
Yeah, because I'm a dedicate at this point, because this wasn't always like this, but at this point, I'm going to dedicate my resources to the person that I'm with.
That's good. That's how it should be. And I also believe that if you're dating someone and you're in a committed relationship, marriage, long-term committed relationship, no other person should have, no other member of the opposite sex should have the same access to you than your significant other.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No argument here.
Yeah.
No argument here.
Yeah.
But Janae, you brought up the point earlier of the person that, there's a situation where they get rid of all of their friends because they're dating somebody new.
Right.
And then they come crawling back when it's over. And it's like, hey, what are you all doing? Well, we always been doing
Right.
what we was doing before you fell in love.
Yeah.
So it's that's always kind of an uncomfortable thing. And we try not to judge our friends. We shouldn't anyway.
Right.
But then when that person is trying to come back and you feel kind of awkward, like,
That happened. Janae and I were it was after one of our in-person events, and a guy had told us that when he had gotten married, he's divorced now, but when he had gotten married, he has a lot of women friends. He dumped like almost all of them.
Yeah.
And because his wife was uncomfortable with them. And when he got a divorce and he came on back like, hey girl, let's be friends again.
Yeah.
They accepted him back. But they didn't really like his wife.
Well,
right?
You're missing the one part. He said they weren't respectful. Now, one of you all
Is that what he
mentioned
said?
respectful.
I
Yeah.
knew it.
They weren't respectful to her. And so he had that hard choice to make.
Okay.
He said, I
Did
gotta
he
let
say
you go.
how? Without you telling too much and revealing?
Just kind of like, if she
How?
came into the room, it would be like, and all the extra touchy feely
Oh, okay,
stuff,
yeah, that is.
just trying to
That's
piss
too
on
much.
your territory,
Yeah,
like,
that's too much.
I could still do
That's
this.
too much.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot for her. And so he did the right thing.
He did do the right thing.
And
he
he cut him off. But the marriage didn't last forever, and he was lonely. He was like
Yeah.
not getting invited to the things, and he saw that they were
Right.
still kicking it, and he crawled
Came
his
back.
way back with his tail between his
Hey.
legs. Yeah.
Let's be friends again. And they took him back. But the fact that they weren't respectful and they were kind of encroaching upon her territory and her husband,
100%.
it made me think like, were you tapping? Like, was there something going on? We never asked him that, but it
No,
just
but
made me think that.
Their friendships weren't,
Platonic.
and if they, weren't platonic. Whether there was ever sex involved, I don't know. But flirtatious banter, and that there's no place for that either. When you're in a
Like you
committed
said
relationship,
earlier,
no one's going
you
to feel
can't have a
comfortable
conversation
in
in
front
front of
of
your
me.
significant other.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they're inviting him to stuff and wouldn't invite her to stuff, but it would be stuff that she should come
Oh.
come to. You can bring
That
your
is so
person,
crazy.
but don't bring her. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
A
So,
wife, a spouse. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
and I feel like if I'm with someone, if I'm in a committed relationship and my people are having something, unless it's like girls only.
Yes, correct.
Includes
Unless
him.
it's just
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in that situation, but that sounds like something was off.
Oh yeah.
It does,
We
doesn't
agree.
it?
Yeah, because
But
Yeah.
he tried to handle it to the best of his
And I
Because if you
applaud him.
announce you're getting married, Jay and I are going to be like, yay,
Right.
hey girl, we have a sister. And we probably would like
For the
her.
bridal shower or
like
something crazy.
more than
no,
you.
no, 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 no,
Did you say a
no.
baby shower?
Bridal.
Oh.
I know.
Ain't no babies. Shop closed.
Yeah,
Shop
we
closed.
would be happy. I want you to be loved. I want you
Yeah.
to have somebody that is just, enamored of you. You deserve that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You
Thank
And
you.
she deserves transparency, and she deserves a sisterhood with your female
Absolutely.
friends. Not you
Absolutely.
don't have to be the best of friends, but it certainly should be respectful, loving, and kind,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and inclusive.
And I'm not, and then we call you early in the morning. What you doing? we wouldn't do that. I mean,
Right.
because there's a level of respect.
Mm-hmm.
And if she,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. But so something as simple as like this train of thought that we all agree on,
Yeah.
some people just don't get that. And that just is astounding to me.
I know a lot of men that don't get it for sure, and I know men that know that they should get it,
Yeah.
but they don't abide by it. For instance,
Do they really not get it, or do they just pretend not to get it?
no, I said that
They don't abide by it.
they know that they should get it. It's
Okay.
not like they. I'm
Okay.
just giving you an example.
Okay.
Like one person in their phone, it will be a bunch of like initials. So they'll take all the girls' names out and just give them initials.
27 Pizza Hut restaurants.
It's right.
So you know what I mean? But I mean, instead of just saying like I'm not gonna just be talking to these people, you'll rename them in your phone, which is ridiculous.
But okay, so that person's in a relationship, right? Or that person is married or something like that.
Used to be married.
That's unhealthy, though. I mean,
It is unhealthy.
You know, first of all,
But
there
your
needs to-
central nervous system.
I don't know if it's
like,
still
why
there, is what I'm
even-
saying.
but there needs to be a conversation. Like, hey, these are my friends. There's nothing going on.
Right.
You know, what do we have to do to get this to your level of comfortability so it can exist in a healthy way? And that's a conversation that you have to have.
Right.
And if there is any wobble, then on a case by case basis, you know, you have to say, okay, well, maybe I don't need to have that friend at that level if it's not going to be healthy to my
You
relationship.
have to make people comfortable.
And if your mate is uncomfortable with all of your friends, that should tell you something too.
Yeah, I agree with that. That needs to have that should be a discussion before marriage happens. Like, why are you uncomfortable with all of my women friends or all of my male friends?
And I mean, it's particularly hard for me because I have a lot of friends that are women.
Okay.
And, I count, several women amongst my best friends.
But I want to ask one question here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had a thought, just hold on to it for a quick second. Are you transparent? Because you do have a lot of friends,
Women friends.
women friends. You have a lot of friends in general, but yes, women friends. And some of these friends are people that you used to date.
Mm-hmm.
That you felt like at some point in time we're better off as friends than we were ever as a couple or could be as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still your friends.
Mhm.
So if you're in a relationship and it's leaning or moving towards committed, are you transparent with your person and say, this is an ex, this is what the relationship was? And when she meets other people, you're like, hey, I never dated this person, there's never been anything, I never liked them, never attracted to them, just a friend. Do you delineate?
I
The
absolutely
categories.
do. And I had to grow to that point. I had to get to the point, because, I wasn't a big person on confessing who I slept with. It was between me and that person. If they chose to share it, congratulations. But me personally, I just, I was weaned away from
So
telling.
you don't kiss and tell.
Yes, I do not kiss and tell.
Okay.
But I learned that it's healthy, even if it was just one time, to communicate that, yeah, we did sleep together. It hasn't happened and, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to give you details. I'm not going to tell you when. I'm not going to tell you where. But I want to be transparent because I don't want these surprises. I don't want it to come out later. I don't want it to,
That's good.
that, hey, this is...
Women don't want the surprise either.
Right.
We
We do
really
not.
don't.
I don't want to live with the surprise. I mean,
Do
it's...
not like those negative surprises.
It's just very unhealthy to me, and I tell now.
Good for
If
you.
I'm going out with you, hey, yes, I slept with that person. We went
Right.
out. We tried. It didn't work.
Right.
It wouldn't fit. No, I'm just kidding.
Always
So
gotta
sad.
go there. Yeah, that's good that you've learned that, at this age, that you need to be honest, because just rip the Band-Aid off and just say what it is. So,
I mean, I'm really telling the story like, I grew and I evolved, and, there was a graduation and all. Life won. It just beat me down. I got to the point where I realized that was a very unhealthy way to live.
yeah.
And a lot of broken hearts for no reason. A lot of arguments that didn't have to be. A lot of turmoil and hurt feelings. You just tell the truth.
In the case
happened.
in the case that it came out, then you destroy trust. And I'm a believer that you can't rebuild trust.
You know what? True. So, like, I felt like at a certain point in time
You
in
can't
my life,
rebuild trust?
that-
And you said that's true? Okay.
I was saying true to something else, but
Oh,
kind of.
okay.
You see, when you interrupt me, I lose my train of thought. Lord have mercy. I don't even want to try and figure it out now. I'll come back
I'm
to
sorry.
it. Mm-hmm. It'll
So,
come back.
circling back to making people comfortable, when I did pharmaceutical sales, most pharmaceutical salespeople are attractive. And I always worked with attractive guys. One in particular who was married, usually they were single, but this one who was married, I knew I was going to be calling his house because we were partners. I was going to be calling his house at all times of the day and night because we had to get crunch numbers and vice versa. So I had he and his wife come over for dinner. We had a cookout, and it was just like I wanted her to get to know me. I wanted him. I won't say his name. I wanted him to get to know my ex-husband, who was my husband at the time, because we needed to have a comfort level because he and I are going to be talking, and it was cool. To this day, I'm still communicating with her. I don't know what he's doing. They're still married, but she and I still talk.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're still through social media. So there has to be a level of modification, of comfort, of respect. And if there's not, it is not going to work. It's always going to be those little, voices and questions of doubt. Because really, in a woman's mind, if you put a question mark there, that's going to always be there.
Once you do anything to destroy or erode trust,
Yeah.
that's a very unhealthy relationship. And I mean, you can get to a level of, where you can deal with it or deal around it. But once you break it down, it's that becomes a very unpleasant relationship for me anyway.
So rebuilding trust, we talked about this last week. I think that it can be rebuilt, but I'm not saying the relationship will ever be the same, because that hasn't been my experience. But I've heard that it can be beautiful. It's just never happened with me. So, and I'm not placing blame on, the people that it happened with, who broke my trust, or not saying that I can't trust anyone, but it's just never happened with me. I think that when you break trust, it takes a whole lot. And what I have found is that some people just aren't willing to put in the work. They would rather just be like, okay, well, this was a great car. It was a great ride, but I'm going to get a new car now because I don't feel like getting oil change.
That is the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And
The low-hanging fruit.
I agree
Yeah.
that it is going to be an uphill battle, but life is full of choices.
Yeah.
And relationships are successful when people choose each other every day. And that's in a marriage, that's in something that's leading up to marriage, or just being together. You have to choose and stick to the decision. So if you want to be together after there's been a break in trust or some sort of fuzziness, you know what I mean? You have to choose to forgive. You have to choose to move past. You have to choose to grow together. If not, you'll hold a level of doubt and resentment, and that usually spirals into something far worse.
Did you remember what you were going to say?
I think it has something to do with what Gary has said. I feel like I too had to grow into a level of openness, because that isn't really what I was like taught. Like, oh, here's my whole life, open book. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if this was before you, then it doesn't have anything to do with you, unless it needed to be. But if it was just general information, like, oh, you just asked a question out the sky, out the blue, I didn't honestly feel like it had anything to do with knowledge that you needed. For me, I used to feel like it was like you're asking a question so you can have information to judge me on. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Guys would ask, what high school did you go to was one thing. The other thing, how many guys have you slept with? No girl really asked a guy, so how many girls have you slept with?
No guy.
I don't even think we
no,
really want to know that answer.
No guy
Not
should
really.
ask that question. That's a very weak question to ask
I think
because
so.
it's no number that's going to be sexy. Because if you tell me 2, then I'm like, what's wrong? You know, I mean,
What's wrong?
right, is everything working? You know,
Right.
what's going on? And if you tell me 2,000, then that's 19.
I was thinking 12, but then you
If
went
you
all the
tell
way.
me 2,000, that's 1,980 too many.
Right.
So there's never going to be a sexy number. So why would you ever ask that question?
I agree.
Because curiosity kills the cat. People just want to know. Even though they shouldn't, because like you said, there's no processor in your brain that's going to compute that data and it's going to come out in the black. It's always going to be in the red. It's always going to be messed up.
You know, the important question there is, am I the last guy you slept with?
There you go.
There you go.
That's a
Am I
very-
the only guy you want to sleep with?
Right.
Right.
Those are the important questions. What you did before you got to me, there's some truth to that. I mean, you can't, there's no question or there's no answer that's going to be right. Mm-hmm. And then we as men, we have what's called lie calculator. So if you tell me 6, I automatically know that it's 18 because I got to multiply
Oh
that
my
by 3.
gosh.
So I don't want to get too off the subject
Off the
here.
topic.
Right. But is there a lie is not a lie, or is a lie just a lie? In other words, are there different magnitudes to lies that you could forgive, or is there like, if you told me a lie, it's a lie. I'm done. You broke the trust.
I mean, if you cheated on your diet, you know, and you told me that you didn't tell me about the French fries, I'm not really mad at you about that. You know what I'm saying? You cheated,
I would hope not.
Right, you cheated on me with French fries.
I
You
would
know,
hope
that's
not.
okay. Go for your fries.
Right.
You know, but if you know, like if you used to be a man or you know something like that. I need
Okay,
to,
now you're going from alpha to omega.
Bro, but I need to. There is an outer limit. There is a limit, and there are things that you know. Okay, I understand why you didn't tell me about the French fries. I get it. Yes.
Okay. So, all right. That's kind of what I wanted to know.
So we pretty much are in agreement that
Yeah.
you don't have to give them all up, but you know, some
I
modifications.
think that you should give up the ones that don't need to be there, that are not helpful.
And you always know who those people are. You know
You
good and
feel
goddamn well who those people are. Now you might not want to give them up because maybe they feed your ego
Yeah.
or they serve a purpose. They're doing something. You're getting something from them, whether it's sex, food, attention. But people know who the people are that they need to give up. I always knew that.
In that vein, I mean, I've grown to a point where I just don't want to be the person that messes something up. So if something gets messed up, I don't want it to be because of what I did.
And so, with that, you don't want to be that person. What lengths are you willing to go to make you not that person? Is it only the lengths of doing the right thing, or is it like, oh shit, I'm that person? Are you gonna fib about it? You gonna lie about it? What are you gonna
I
do?
still might cheat on you with the French fries, but I'm not gonna cheat on you with another woman.
Really, that's
Yeah.
good. Okay.
I'm not gonna not tell you that you know that's not really my cousin. You know we used to smash back in the day. You know I'm telling you all of that stuff. I'm
Yeah.
still gonna cheat on you with the French fries though. I did that. It happened.
So you're like, if my lie doesn't hurt you or us, but if it's just about you, then it's just you.
Mhm.
See, I don't want to lie at all. Like, I feel like lies are just hard to keep up with.
But you don't eat French fries either.
I do like French fries. I do. Like, who doesn't like a French
But
fry?
who-
But do we like cook French fries over here? No. But the thing is this: lies are hard to keep up with, and I feel like they're habit forming. So anything that you do consistently gets easier to do. So if you start to lie about French fries, then you're gonna start to lie about the burger. You're gonna start to lie about where you were. You know, I wasn't at McDonald's. I was really at Target, and then it's gonna go.
So little lies.
Yeah.
It's just saying it just kind of snowballs.
Snowball
and
into this
it's like
vast
a little lies, a
avalanche.
gateway into.
It is.
Yeah.
So just don't do those things, and because they aren't that bad. Because you're human. I ate the fries. You know, what's the worst that could happen to you?
We're gonna be off topic.
Right.
We are off topic because I want to say something more about that because
The French fries.
no, French fries aren't my jam. More onion rings are mine. I don't have to have fries ever in my life. It's onion rings. I might like sneak off your plate, might slide one on over here. Right, but no. I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't know that I necessarily agree 100% with that. But that's not the topic. So we can save that discussion for another rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, are all lives weighted the same?
Mm.
We can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Y'all can tell us what you think about this topic in the comments. Let us know what you think. If you are in a serious relationship or if you see yourself in a serious relationship in the future, would you be willing to give up your friends of the opposite sex? Why or why not?
Right.
Up and chill.
I'm sure a lot of people are going to feel like, oh, you got to have trust. You got to have trust.
Yeah,
You do have to have trust.
But there's respect. There are other things. Just
Absolutely.
like, you know,
Respect
just like
has to be intertwined.
just a relationship. Just you can't just have love like the movie. Like, what's love got to do with it? It's not. You can't just have love without respect or respect without love. Everything is. It's like this. It goes together like this. But if you have a relationship there where someone is not respectful, whether it's somebody in your relationship with you or externally, you know, y'all let us know. Because just, I don't want to go too far into this, but it's more than just trust. So, at any rate, drop us a line. And we're going to give you, what did we say? Our in-person event is July 25th.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you details about that very, very soon. So, stay tuned.
It will be a evening event. So there's a snippet.
In Chicago.
In Chicago.
I ain't gonna say nothing because I get in trouble every time for telling too much. So if I don't say nothing, I can't get in trouble.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Leave us a comment and certainly share the episode. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Till the next time.
Good night.
X to the left.